Let me begin with a simple question. When a tree becomes old, does it run behind the birds asking them to sit on its branches? No, it stands silently rooted, complete in itself. When a tree becomes old, it does not run behind the birds asking them to sit on its branches. It simply stands there, deeply rooted, silent, complete in itself. And somehow, the birds come on their own. Life also moves in a similar rhythm. In childhood, we depend on our parents. In youth, we depend on our dreams. In middle age, we depend on our responsibilities. But in old age, life softly whispers a different lesson. Now learn to depend on yourself. Many people fear old age, not because their hair turns white or their steps become slow, but because attention becomes less. Children grow busy, friends become fewer. The world moves faster than our body can follow. Slowly, we start measuring our happiness by how often the phone rings or how many people ask about us. And without realizing it, we hand over the remote control of our peace to others. But happiness borrowed from people is fragile. It is like a house built on rent. As long as the owner is kind, you feel safe. The day he changes his mind, you feel homeless. True peace is your own house, built inside you, strong, silent, and unshakable. There was once an old man who used to sit alone on a bench every evening, smiling gently at the sky. Someone asked him, "Don't you feel lonely sitting here every day?" He replied, "No, I finally have good company. I am spending time with someone who understands me." That someone was himself. For decades he tried to understand others. In old age, he decided to understand his own heart. Old age is not the time to compete, prove, or impress. It is the time to simplify, to reduce noise, to choose peace over arguments, dignity over attention, calm over control. When expectations become heavy, relationships become tiring. When expectations become light, relationships become beautiful. If people respect you, accept it with gratitude. If they ignore you, accept it with grace. Their behavior is their responsibility. Your response is your power. You do not need daily validation to confirm your worth. Your breath is proof that your life still matters. Wake up slowly. Drink your tea mindfully. Walk gently. Speak less. Listen more. Pray not to change the world, but to strengthen your heart. Let go of the habit of keeping emotional accounts: who called, who didn't, who cared, who forgot. These calculations only steal the joy of the present moment. When you focus on yourself in old age, you do not become selfish. You become stable. You do not become distant. You become deep. You do not become lonely. You become free. People will come and people will go, just like seasons. But if you learn to sit peacefully with yourself, you will never be empty. You will carry a quiet richness within you, a calm that does not depend on applause, and a smile that does not need a reason. And that silent contentment is not weakness. It is the strongest kind of success life can offer. As we grow older, life slowly teaches us a lesson that is gentle yet profound. The people around us may change, our roles may change, and even our own body may change. But the one companion we always have is ourselves. Yet, most of us spend our entire lives looking outward, seeking validation, seeking attention, seeking appreciation, without ever learning how to be content with our own company. In youth, dependence on others feels natural. In middle age, responsibility demands our attention outward. But in the later years, the most important relationship we can cultivate is the one within. Many fear old age, not because of wrinkles or gray hair, but because of perceived loneliness. They fear that their children will be too busy, that their friends will forget them, that the world will move on without them. But the truth is, loneliness is not about being alone. Loneliness is when we fail to understand ourselves, when we place our peace in the hands of others. It is like tying the wings of a bird to a branch and then wondering why it cannot fly. True peace, true contentment, comes when we allow ourselves to soar independently, without needing anyone else to hold us up. There is a quiet joy in learning to focus on oneself in the later years. Simple routines, waking up slowly, observing the morning light, taking a walk with your own thoughts become treasures. Small acts like brewing tea, tending to a plant, or reading a meaningful passage can become profound experiences when we are fully present. This is not selfishness, this is wisdom. Because when our happiness is anchored within, it no longer fluctuates with the changing moods of the world. Consider the story of an old woman who spent her life caring for others. In her youth, she poured herself into her work, her family, her community. As she grew older, she noticed her children were busy, friends were engaged elsewhere, and the world seemed indifferent. For a while, she felt empty. Then she began spending time simply observing herself, her thoughts, her memories, her breath. She began to discover that her own company could be comforting, her own thoughts could be wise companions, and her own heart could still experience joy without needing validation from anyone else. That realization transformed her. Peace replaced anxiety, gratitude replaced longing, and freedom replaced dependence. Old age is not the time to chase recognition, to demand attention, or to live in past grievances. It is the time to simplify, to let go, and to cultivate a life where inner harmony matters more than external applause. Respect from others is a gift, but self-respect is a necessity. Gratitude for what we have, forgiveness for what we cannot change, and compassion for ourselves allow us to live fully in these years. When one learns to focus on oneself in old age, the mind becomes lighter, the heart becomes calmer, and the soul becomes free. People will come and go, seasons will change, but the relationship we have cultivated with ourselves remains steady, unwavering, and filled with quiet joy. That is the truest wealth that life can offer. As life moves forward, there comes a season when the world seems to slow down around you, but your mind still races. In youth, we are busy building, achieving, impressing. In middle age, we are busy providing, caring, managing. But in the later years, life quietly nudges us towards something different, a gentle invitation to focus on ourselves. It is not about selfishness or isolation. It is about discovering the richness of our own company and the peace that comes when we are no longer dependent on the opinions of others. Many people enter this stage with a sense of fear. They worry that children will not visit enough, that friends will forget them, or that their contributions will no longer be recognized. But these fears are a misunderstanding of what true fulfillment is. Happiness that depends on external approval is fragile, like a house built on sand. No matter how carefully constructed, the tide of life can wash it away in an instant. True contentment, however, is built on the foundation of self-understanding, self-respect, and inner calm. When we learn to nurture ourselves, our peace becomes unshakable, no matter the circumstances. Consider the life of someone who has spent decades caring for others, raising children, supporting family, guiding friends. For many years, their focus was outward, and rightly so. But as time passed, the demands of life shifted, and the very people they had devoted themselves to became busy with their own paths. For a while, a sense of emptiness settled in. And yet, slowly, by choosing to spend time in quiet reflection, they discovered an unexpected companion themselves. Listening to their own thoughts, observing their own breath, and embracing their own memories became a source of joy and strength. This is the essence of what life offers in its later chapters, the chance to reconnect with the self, to discover that inner peace has always been waiting there. Old age is not the season for demonstrating worth to others or seeking validation. It is the season for simplifying life, for letting go of grudges, for reducing noise and expectations. Small rituals, waking up with gratitude, walking mindfully, speaking kindly, and enjoying silence become profound acts of self-love. Respect from others is appreciated but not demanded. Recognition is a gift, not a requirement. When we shift the focus inward, the heart becomes lighter, the mind calmer, and the spirit freer. It is also the time to forgive ourselves and others, because holding on to past disappointments only weighs us down. Life in these years is best spent cultivating emotional independence, learning to be at peace without needing constant affirmation, and finding joy in the simple presence of our own company. When you master this, you realize that people come and go, seasons change, and circumstances fluctuate, but the relationship you nurture with yourself is constant. To focus on oneself in old age is not to turn away from the world. It is to discover that the most profound love, the most enduring peace, and the most lasting contentment begin within. Once this truth is embraced, life in its later years becomes a quiet celebration, a time of freedom, reflection, and deep, unwavering joy. As the years pass, life brings a very special lesson. It asks us to turn inward. In youth, we are busy chasing dreams, seeking approval, building reputations. In middle age, our attention is consumed by family, career, and obligations. But in the later years, life gently nudges us to slow down, to stop seeking validation from others, and to focus on the most important relationship we have, ourselves. This is not about becoming selfish or detached. It is about learning that true peace and joy come from within, and that no amount of attention from others can replace the contentment of self-understanding. Many people enter old age with a sense of anxiety. They worry that children will not visit often, that friends will be distant, or that the world will no longer notice their presence. These worries, however, are a misunderstanding of what life truly offers. Happiness built on external approval is like a fragile glass ornament, beautiful, but easily shattered. Happiness rooted in self-awareness and inner harmony, on the other hand, is like a mountain, unshakable, calm, and enduring. There is a story of an elderly man who spent his life providing for everyone else. He raised children, guided friends, supported colleagues, and even helped strangers. When he entered his later years, he realized that people were now busy with their own lives, and he sometimes felt overlooked. For a while, this caused sadness. Then he decided to spend time with himself, to observe his thoughts, to reflect on his experiences, to nurture his own heart. Slowly, he discovered that his own company could be joyful, that memories could be comforting, and that self-acceptance could bring a profound peace that no recognition from others ever could. Old age is not a time for proving worth to the world. It is a time for letting go of expectations, simplifying life, and cultivating emotional independence. Small acts, waking slowly, appreciating the morning light, savoring meals mindfully, and walking in quiet reflection become sources of deep joy. Respect from others is a gift, but self-respect is essential. Gratitude replaces longing, and forgiveness replaces resentment. When we shift our attention inward, the mind becomes calmer, the heart lighter, and the spirit freer. This stage of life also teaches us the art of letting go. Let go of past grievances, let go of the need to control others, let go of expectations that bring disappointment. Life becomes lighter when we stop chasing approval and start nurturing ourselves. People may come and go, seasons may change, and circumstances may fluctuate, but the relationship you cultivate with yourself remains steady. Focusing on oneself in old age does not mean turning away from the world. It means discovering that the deepest joy, the most lasting peace, and the truest fulfillment are found within. Once this realization dawns, life transforms into a celebration of calm, gratitude, and freedom. Each day becomes an opportunity to live fully in the present, to appreciate the gift of life, and to carry a quiet, unwavering contentment wherever you go. Remember this: when you focus on yourself in old age, you don't become lonely, you become light. Light enough to forgive, light enough to let go, light enough to smile without a reason. People will come, people will go. But if you are with yourself, you will never be alone. And that is the richest form of success. Thank you.